Alright, I'm going to show you how to remove, replace, and install your steering knuckles on your StreetStrider. What you need to do this are a couple of tools. We have a 17mm open end wrench, two 13mm open end wrenches, an 8mm Allen wrench, a 5mm Allen wrench, and a 19mm socket. Alright, so to start, what we do is we prop up the StreetStrider one side at a time to avoid the unit from becoming wobbly without the stability of the front end. We use this piece of wood. You could use a box, you can use really anything. Maybe 9 Converses stacked, I don't know. Anyway, so in order to do this, we're going to start by taking the caliper off with our 5mm Allen wrench here. And if it's a little tight, just work with it. Try not to strip these out. Take these all the way out. Don't lose those. Once you have this off, it'll just come down. We're now going to take the 19mm socket, take the axle nut off this side. Don't lose that either. And now the caliper's off, so if you see right here, you'll need the caliper off so that your disc rotor is free. Once that's free, it should slide right off. Like that. Be aware of the washers. Try not to lose any components, alright? So after that, we're now going to take the steering linkage off. We have two 13mm, one on the underside, one on the top side. Like that. Move that over to the side. And then we're going to work on the kingpin bolt here. Kingpin goes right through the clevis joint. It's basically a rotational point here. So we're going to use the 8mm Allen wrench at the top, 17mm open end wrench on the bottom. Use the socket side. Now, this is the same procedure if your steering knuckles don't need to be replaced, which is very rare, that you would use, and you may need to unscrew this in order to get this out. There we go. The same procedure to if you needed to replace your bushings, right? You got two bushings, top and bottom. If you needed to replace those, this would be the same procedure. Now that you have this out, I'll show you how to put it back in. Basically, it's all the steps in reverse. Make sure you have your kingpin with the washer on the top side. Mind the grease. That coming through. Washer here, and the 17mm nut. And again with the 8 and the 17. just kind of want to snug this up. You don't want to crank this thing down. Otherwise, you won't have a lot of room to turn. It'll be really stiff. Yeah, ready to go. Go ahead and get your steering rod in. Washer on the top side. Washer on the bottom side. Now, if you have the alignment, the wheel alignment set, preset on this, most likely you don't need to change it. Now you do want to check it once the wheel's back on, but you won't need to change it just because it's already set. This one you do want to be tight. Right, now, wheel, make sure you have your spacer and your washer in here. These are very critical. You have it like that. Another washer here, and then your 19 millimeter axle nut. It is a lock nut, so you want to make sure you get it in there. And make sure it still rotates, right? You want it to be tight, but you don't want to over tighten and damage the bearings on the inside, so as long as it's rotating freely, you should be fine. Now moving on to the brake caliper. It's the last step. Let's see, the way this works is this thing has a bracket. The bracket goes on the outside. Now if you film right over here, you'll see where the pads need to go right around the disc here. And line this up. This piece is started. One piece started right under here, and you'll get the other. These are the 5 millimeter screws. It can be a little finicky, but just work with it. You'll get it. Cool. Get those started. Take your 5. Now most likely, because you didn't alter the adjustment of the positioning of the caliper on this bracket and you didn't change the tension on the 4 millimeter clamping screw right here, you may not need to re-pull the brakes. You may just need to check out the calipers on the inside, which we will do, and you should be good after that. Let's see. Get these nice and tight. And if you listen, you can hear it scraping. So in order to do that, we're going to get a 3 millimeter and a 5 millimeter. This part is a little bit touchy, but if you see here, the 3 millimeter goes on the inside of this one. You have to actually get it all the way in there in the adjustments pad, and then you just want to back that up. There's a little air gap between that there, and you're good. So that's how you would do this procedure.